What's up, y'all? It's Miles the Millennial.
And it's your boy, Rex Howard Jr.
And this is Let's Talk Like Men, the podcast where we have real conversations about real topics, providing real advice to men like you everywhere. And we are back with another episode. Rex, my brother, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm so blessed, dog. If I was more blessed, I'd be ungrateful, man.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. I was feeling tired this morning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got up, got moving around, talked to my guys, picked my wife up from work, everything started feeling good. Especially the hour drive I got here,
Mm-hmm.
I get the opportunity to relax my mind. So feeling pretty good, dog. What about you?
Man, I'm feeling authoritative. I'm feeling empowered, man. One thing that I've started doing before our episodes, man, is on the morning of our episodes, it's no distractions. It's just me and God.
Yeah.
Right. So I decided, I was like, man, I'm gonna wake up early today, go to the gym beforehand today. So I went to the gym this morning, and all this morning I've been in word and I've been in worship. And I've noticed that as I've done that the last couple of episodes, the way that the show goes, the way that my thoughts flow for the episode, the way that my words come out on the episode, I have a different presence and a different feeling when I've been focused on nothing but God all day.
Yeah.
And so I feel very, very empowered, and I feel strong in my authority. So I'm very happy and blessed for today.
It's a good feeling to have, big dog.
Yeah, man. Today's episode gonna be a good one, man.
Yeah.
This was one you sent me a few days ago. Stop wasting her time.
Stop wasting.
This is gonna be a good one. Y'all know, if you've been around for a while, y'all know the majority of our episodes, probably 80-90% of our episodes are going to be strictly for men, about a men's topic directly for men. But occasionally we will do episodes where we'll talk about something that the women are going to like a little bit more, right? Understand that at the end of the day, the content is still for the fellas. But women, you guys grasp so much of this content and use it to understand yourselves, understand men better, and apply it to your lives. So I know that this episode, like so many others, is going to continue with that flow and be impactful, man.
Yeah.
But Rex, I want you to tell us more about this topic. So stop wasting their time. How did you come up to it with this topic, and what do you want us to really dive into today?
Man, most definitely. So stop wasting her time, man. I get the opportunity to speak to men every day, right? Couples, individuals, people that are heartbroken, people that are putting themselves back out there, and even pulling from my own life. One thing I've noticed is when a man isn't prepared to truly date, to truly court a woman, to truly try to work on becoming a husband or being more healed, there's a lot of time being wasted, right? There's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of women that are hearts being broken, women that are being taken advantage of, women that are being used to please a man's flesh because he doesn't know what he wants, right? And ultimately, I get men in my office that say, Rex, I can't find love, or I can't trust women because of my past, because I've done X, Y, and Z. And a lot of women say, Rex, has been hard for me to truly respect a man or truly show up for a man because of how I've been treated before in the past. And ultimately, I boil it down to a lot of time being wasted. When we become more intentional, when we become we have a little bit more direction and we include God into the process, I think a lot of time can be saved in this dating process, from finding who you are to finding who your wife is or your husband is, walking down that aisle and then, starting your family. So I think this is going to be important for the men to understand the signs that we are doing that are considered being wasteful. And then for the women, these are things that she can pick up on from the men to know that her time is being wasted as well. So she can make better decisions.
That's good, bro. This is gonna be great, man. I already think about it. You said something where you said the guys be like, they don't really think they can date because of their past, right?
Yeah.
They don't think they can go in relationships. And I remember I said something at our event that we did with the fellas. I said, how many men in here have cheated?
Yep.
Majority of the hands raised their hands. I said, how many men in here have been a side dude before? Majority of people raised their hands. How many of you have been a side dude to a woman that was married? A lot of dudes raised their hands. And I said, because of these things, right? Knowing how the things that you put your hands in, how you played into it with your flesh, how does that play into you being able to even trust yourself or a woman to be in a relationship? And almost every single man in there say, yeah, it makes it almost impossible for me to truly believe that I could be faithful or that a woman could be faithful to me for the entirety of a relationship.
Yep.
You wasting time, and while you're wasting that time, you're building up scars in your mind, scars in your heart that are going to make it so much more difficult down the line for you to do what you were really supposed to do from the get-go because you wasted so much time playing.
Yep.
So without further ado, man,
Hey, let's
let's
talk
talk
like
like
men.
men. All right, so let's jump into it, Rex. You go first. Let's talk about the first way or the first sign that you are wasting her time as a man.
Absolutely. So the first sign that you're wasting her time is you're taking up all her time,
Mm,
right? So this goes out for the men that you're not really on your purpose. You don't really have much going for yourself. Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 type of job, but you're just kind of there.
yeah.
But you want all her time.
Mm,
So you want her to text you all day. You want her to call you all day. You want to be on the phone with her all night, right? This could be a woman that's on her purpose. This could be a woman that's on her mission. Maybe she's in school, or maybe she's just trying to figure out herself, trying to heal.
mhm,
But you want to be the person that's always in her face, right? When you know for a fact you don't know which direction you guys are going in. When you know for a fact you don't know if this is something that you want to continue pursuing. But one thing you do know is you want to be her go-to for everything.
mm,
One thing you do know is when you send her a text, you want her to respond immediately. One thing you do know is if given the opportunity, you would take up all of her time in the day, but not pour into her,
mm.
not give back to her, not teach her anything, and definitely not put her in a better position. So you're wasting all of her time by taking up all her time.
That's real. That's so real. It's so obvious, right? But it's not something we think about,
Yep.
especially in a society like we have today that reinforces the importance of, oh, really it's a possessive thing. We
Yep.
really enforce selfishness and possessiveness in our society where it's about me, 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 me so much. And if my needs aren't being met, then this
Yep.
relationship isn't meeting my needs.
Yep.
And the reality is that only goes so far
Yep.
because when somebody else is on their purpose or is trying to achieve their goals, there is going to have to be a sacrifice that is made.
Absolutely.
You cannot be the end all be all of every single thing, right?
Yep.
Especially that's not even your wife.
Yep.
So at a certain point, and even if it is your wife, you can't be the husband that gets in the way of your wife walking on her purpose because you are needy.
Yep. So and that makes me think about you and your situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, me and my wife, we were in school at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She graduated a month after me. So
Yeah.
we both knew and understood that we had to study and that we had to grind. But for you, your lady, fiance,
Yes.
was in school and you were grinding.
Yep.
You wanted things from her that she couldn't give because she didn't have the capacity for it. So can you kind of let us know what that was like for you and like how'd you navigate
For
through
sure. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because I was wondering what I was gonna say to this, and you
it?
literally just set it up. Bro. So during that season, for those of you guys who don't know, for the last 3 years, right? 2 years, my lady's been in school. My fiance now has been in school, studying, getting her master's degree as a PA, right? She's about to take her test in a couple weeks. And in that process, we got to a point, especially that this would have been year two, really like that 12 to 18-month mark, where now she's in Houston. We were long distance for that first time. So time was already going to be limited. And I understood that. And it
Yep.
was kind of easy for us to just realize because we had already been long distance that, hey, there's going to be some sacrifice in how much time we're going to have for one another. But when she got here to Houston, I'm like, man, I'm coming over, I'm spending time with her, taking her on dates, all these things, but I never really feel like I'm getting what I'm desiring.
Yep.
100% of her mind, 100% of her attention, 100% of her affection, this growth in her ability to submit, this growth in her ability to communicate in a certain way. And it just seemed like, I'm like, man, it just seems like it's getting stagnant on her end. I'm pouring so much and I'm desiring to receive it back and I'm
Yep.
just not getting it back. What's up? And one day the Holy Spirit told me, ask her if she can be what you're asking her to be right now.
Mm.
Ask her. And we were because we kept arguing over the same thing. I'm like, why is it that we keep being in the same place over and over and over again? And you keep saying you're sorry, but you're not changing. And she'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna work better, whatever. And I asked her after this last time, Holy Spirit interceded and said that. And I said, I need you to be honest with me. In your heart of hearts, don't worry about how I'm going to feel about it. Don't worry about how I'm going to react to it, if I'm going to be disappointed or any of this. I just need you to be honest with me and tell me, can you be who I'm asking you to be for me right now? Don't think I'm going to leave. Don't think that I'm going to walk out the door and not come back. I'm not going nowhere, but tell me the truth. And when she had to sit there with herself and be honest, she's like, Miles, no, I don't think I can be what you're asking me to be right now. I'm grieving my father's loss. I'm struggling with school and trying to just feel like I can even make it. I'm drowning in finances. Like, I'm trying to figure myself out. I don't know where I'm at right now in life. And having to show up for you in this moment and be somebody that I don't even feel like I can be for myself, I can't be that for you right now.
Mm.
And I had to take a position. In that moment, I knew I had two choices. I could sit there and I could continue to be needy, and I continue to wait to be served and continue to focus on, well, what you're not giving me.
Yeah.
Or I could take the position as a partner and say, yo, right now I'm gonna have to carry this weight. And yes, it's going to suck,
Yeah.
but that is what this is about.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to do it for her because I know who she is. I believe in her purpose. I believed in her vision. I believe in everything that she was working towards. And that was more important than me being needy and having to get some affection, having to get some reassurance. Miles, you're going to have to get some reassurance from God. It's
Yeah.
going to be you and him. And that's going to be it right now. And you show up for her and understand that you might not get nothing in return right now. But I tell you what, there's always an ROI.
Yeah.
When you pour in like that to your woman, when you show up like that for your woman and you not continuously taking, because she's in a season where she's building and she's working towards something, there's an ROI on that investment that'll happen down the line. And you watch the person that she becomes. You watch how the ways that she starts to willingly change herself because she remembers when you were in her shoes.
Yeah.
And you didn't sit there and make her life harder on her. You made it easier because you put your needs to the side because you knew that she was on her purpose.
Man, that's powerful, dog. So I'm hearing you say you came to your senses, you had a conversation with God. He gave you direction to ask her a question. You asked her a question and gave her a safe space to say what she needed to say and not what she wanted you to hear.
Exactly.
Right. And you took that and said, okay, now that I know this is where you are, I'm going to set aside my needs to make sure you get what you need because I know at the end of the day, when everything is all said and done, we're going to come together even stronger because I was able to take this time away.
Exactly.
And with you spending that time with God, he allowed for you to give yourself the things that you needed so
Yep.
you knew how to do that and what that felt like. So she wasn't responsible for meeting all your needs.
Exactly.
And now you guys have a stronger balance.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing, fellas. I hope you are taking notes.
For sure. That was a great one. And I got something else I'm gonna add on, but I think this next point I'm gonna use that story for this next one.
Say less.
So we can move on. That's all I got. I don't have nothing for that
All right.
time.
You
Okay, I'll do the second one. So the second one, well, really, this is your thought with the flesh.
Oh,
So I
bet.
want you to hit that one.
Okay, bet. All right. The second way that you can waste your lady's time or a woman's time is with your flesh, right? So it's three main things I want to hit on. Number one, using her to satisfy yourself, right? To cope with your stress or to express your anger on. One thing that we tend to do, and I'm going to say we because I've had these experiences as well, is when we know that we're not ready for a serious relationship, but we know that we're ready to please our flesh.
Yeah.
So when we go out to these clubs or we're in school and we see somebody in class, and our intention is not to let me talk to her to see if she'd be a good partner, but no, let me talk to her to see if I can get what I want from her. Right? And we're gonna talk, we're gonna joke, we're gonna laugh. I'm gonna probably send a couple text messages, probably check in a couple of FaceTimes. But when the right opportunity presents itself, I'm going to try to go get what I can get. And then after that, I'll make a decision, okay, whether this is something that's worth staying for or I'm going to go on the next venture, right? Wasting time, right? Wasting a body, experiencing and taking something from somebody that they can't get back.
Yeah.
That is time. That is an experience. What if that person wanted to wait until they was married, but you had so much influence on them that they wanted to lean in, right? What if that person wanted to wait until they were in a serious relationship, but you did everything you could to say the right things, to be the right person, to show up and become who you thought she needed you to be in order to get what you wanted, and absolutely wasting her time. So that's another reason or another way that men can waste a woman's time is by their flesh.
That's good, bro. That's good. And you know what just came into my mind when you started breaking that down? Is you waste her time when you start weaponizing your potential.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is this: if you have the ability to transform yourself into whatever woman you wants
man.
you to be, do you know how much potential you have?
Man.
And I think about us, right? You just said it. The exact same story for both of us. We could be whoever you needed me to be. Like, it didn't matter. You needed me to be the dominant voice, I can be the dominant voice. You need me to be the intellectual, I can be the intellectual. You need me to be spiritual, I can be spiritual.
Yeah.
You need me to be whatever you wanted me to be. Oh, I had a word for you.
Yeah.
I had the game to spit. I had the way to appear, the right things to say, to touch your heart or touch your mind, whatever made you click. I had so much potential and I was weaponizing it. I knew that I could transform my life into be whatever version of myself I wanted to be. But instead of being a righteous man, right, I chose to be a manipulator.
Yeah.
And that is an extreme waste of her time. And matter of fact, it's a waste of your time.
100%.
Because you have the potential to use all that energy, all that potential that you have built up in you and become something that's actually worthwhile, something that actually impacts the world in a better place, something that actually can be used for the kingdom. But rather than submit yourself to what is right, you'd rather submit yourself to your flesh.
Man, that's good. And fellas, one thing I want to say that's on my heart, that is important to know, right? And I'm trying to say this the right way. The more experiences you have with multiple women, the further away you get from finding your wife, right? Because what tends to happen is if I find 10 to 15 ways to please my flesh, it's hard for me to focus on one woman that's going to do all those things.
Yeah.
Right? Your appetite becomes expanded. You become very greedy. And if you start learning and knowing and having the ability and access to multiple women, nothing about having one woman is going to truly please you or satisfy you. Right? Your mind is going to always roam to memories from the past. Your mind is going to roam to what so-and-so said or how so-and-so made you feel, right? But it's going to be hard to focus on the woman that's in front of you. So just remember that. Not only are you wasting her time, but you're wasting your time, because when it's time for you to lock in and you really want to find your wife, it's going to be that much harder because you have all these other experiences to kind of pull from.
I'm going to be vulnerable with y'all because he went there. And I think that vulnerability is one of the things and transparency that really helps the men on our show and why so many people resonate with our platform. I'm an engaged man. He's a married man, but I'm going to speak just for me. I'm an engaged man. I still have flashbacks. It still happens to me. I've been killing and crucifying my flesh for 2 years now, submitted and walking, and I still get flashbacks to things that happened, things that I did, things that I was a part of years ago because I was so deep in my flesh, because I've dealt with so many women in my life. I'm telling you, bro, this process of getting more submitted in your flesh is continuous. And the more that you add on to it right now in your life, the more that you keep on playing around with these women and wasting their time, the harder it is for you to fight the battle.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I'm not in no way saying that because I had a flashback, I gave in to that flashback,
Right.
or that I pondered on. No, I had to kill it. I had to immediately go and put a word to it.
Yeah.
Right? I had to immediately go say that I'm gonna take all thoughts captive and make them obedient to the word of God. Right? That is, I had to immediately do that to kill it out of my mind. But the enemy loves a memory.
Yeah.
The enemy loves a memory. And when you are staying in your flesh and you playing around and wasting time in your flesh, you're just giving the enemy more ammo so that when you do turn that corner and you trying to do the right thing and you living for God, the enemy going to keep using all the memories. He's going to keep throwing them back in your face. You have the power to win it though. So this is not something to be sad about, but I am being vulnerable with you. It literally happened to me an hour and a half before I came to the show. I had a flashback. And I'm telling you guys, he's not lying when he says every single time you dive into your flesh right now, you're making it harder for yourself later on.
Yeah.
We have to fight the battles for the consequences of things we did back in the day.
Yeah.
And you know what? So be it. That's the way that it is. But if we could do it all over again, we do it completely different.
100%. That's good. What you got, B-Dot?
Man, so I'm actually flow with that one, and I'm going to go on to my point.
Yes, sir.
Stop wasting her time. A sign that you are wasting her time is if you still feel the need to get it out your system. You still feel the need to get it out the system. Let me tell you the truth about getting it out your system. I've never heard one man that advocates that you need to get it out your system that's 100% faithful to their wife.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them. And the way when I say 100% faithful, this is what I mean. Every single one of the men, whether they physically cheat or not, they flirt with women when their wife not around. They got a little work wife. They got a little work husband, whatever. Everybody that say you need to still get it out your system, hey, don't worry about it. Take your time. Get it out your system. They're lying to themselves. And what I know is they're giving the enemy a foothold. Because The word says that you got to crucify the flesh. It don't say you got to play with the flesh until the flesh decides to stop playing with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you need to slowly but surely weed it out of your system. No, you got to cut it off.
Yeah.
Cold turkey. Don't play with it. What's that song? Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Right? You can't do that with the flesh. You got to kill the flesh.
Thanks.
Right? It is a war that goes on. And when you have the mindset as a man, I'm not ready yet because I got to get this out of my system. You're right. You're not ready yet. But the problem is you're not going to ever be ready if you keep carrying that mindset of I got to get it out of my system. It never leaves. The flesh cannot be satisfied.
No.
It has an appetite that will never be full because the second you think that you got what you needed, it escalates and now it want more.
Yeah.
That's why when you go down a road of perversion, you need more and more freakier things.
Yeah.
That's why what used to turn you on 2 years ago don't do it for you no more. Now you need 2 women. Now you need 3 women. Now you need 4 women. Now you got to try different places, different spaces, and different things. Things got to get more risque, more dangerous because your flesh ain't satisfied. You don't see the pattern. You don't see the pattern, bro. You don't realize the fact that you used to only need to be able to watch a scene in your pornography that was a love scene. Now it got to be the stepmother and the stepson. Now it got to be hentai. Now it got to be all these things to get more and more perverse. The flesh is never satisfied, bro. You cannot play with it. So if you think that you just need to get it out of your system, you're never going to get it out your system. You said that the last time when Shorty hit you up that you been wanting to holler at 2-3 years ago, and now she wants you. Man, I said I was done, but I really wanted her.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and slide on this, and then I'll be done. And then the next one comes, and the next one. Your flesh will never be satisfied. So you're going to waste that woman's time if you believe in your heart of hearts that you still need to get it out of your system.
Man, that's so powerful, dog. And just to add to that, that's the same thing that happens with alcoholics.
Oof.
Same thing happen when people that smoke weed.
Mm,
Same thing happen when you gotta pop pills.
that's real.
Right? Had a conversation just the other day. Young lady said, "Yeah, I'm on this depressive medicine. I started at 10 milligrams. Now I'm on the highest one, 400 milligrams."
Hmm.
I was like, "How do we get to that point?"
Wow.
Right? And she was like, "There's going to come a point where my body's going to get used to this, and I'm going to need more. So I'm going to probably have to add on something else." It never stops.
Yeah.
You're like you said, your flesh can get complacent, but it'll never say, "Give me less."
Yep. Ever.
It'll never say, "Give me less." So I had a young brother that got married. He found out that his wife confessed that 10 years ago, before they got engaged, that she cheated.
Wow.
Right? And, he lost his virginity to her, and he was just thinking to himself like, "Man, Rex, this last 10 years has been a lie." Right? The love that we had, the love that we shared, the moments that we experienced, the kids that we have, I'm questioning everything. And now it's kind of making me upset because now I want to get my lick back. Now, all the thing I can think about is all the years I missed out on being outside when I'm trying to play husband. And I said, "Listen, brother, I'm gonna tell you something. One thing you didn't miss out on was being outside."
Swear.
Because being outside when you're angry, that's another thing on part of using for your flesh. When you're angry, you're not going out there to try to protect a woman, make a woman feel safe.
Yeah.
You're not out there trying to make a woman feel good. You're out there strictly for you. That's when you become very selfish. You don't care about their pleasure, but you care about yours.
That's real.
You don't care about their experience. You care about yours. You don't care about how they feel when everything is done. You putting your clothes back on and she want to cuddle, but you ready to dip because you done had enough.
Yeah.
You don't care about that. You care about yours. So like you said, when you think that I just need to get out of my system, do whatever you can to capture that thought, because that is not the healthy way to go.
Telling you, man. Telling you, dog. That's so good, man. That's so good. Let's go on to the next point.
Absolutely. It's you or me?
You.
All right, bet. Another way that you can waste a woman's time is with your empty promises, right? This means not being a man of your word, saying things just to get what you want, right? I promise you, if you take me back, I'm gonna become a better man. I promise you, I'm gonna get a better job and start making more money. I promise you, if you take me back, I won't put my hands back on you anymore. I promise you, if you take me back, then I'll stop drinking. I'll stop. All these empty promises, you become a man that is very verbally manipulative. You're going to say exactly what she needs to hear to reel you back in, just so you can waste her time again, just so you can not apologize again, just so you can raise your voice again, just so that you can put your hands on her again. This is things that we can do to waste a woman's time, right? When you say something and you don't back it up. When you apologize and there's not changed behavior, right? When you know that you are sick in the head, whether that's mental, emotional, just whatever that you may be dealing with, but you don't go get some help. These are things that we are doing to waste her time, because one thing that she's doing, she's taking it all and she's suffering. And she's trying to give you grace. And she's trying not to go to her friends or to her family, because she realized that if I tell my friends and my family what's really going on in my relationship, how I'm really being treated, how I'm really being talked to, how he really takes advantage of me, they'll try to come do something to him.
Mm.
But I'm gonna protect him. But in the process of protecting him, I'm suffering inside simply because I'm dealing with all of this stuff. This boy trying to become a man, but the process is he's not even trying to become.
Not trying.
He's just talking about becoming a man, but there's no action behind it. So that's another way a man can waste woman's time, is with empty promises.
That's so good, bro. And you hit on all that. So I'm gonna go shallower. I'm not gonna go deeper. I'm gonna go shallower. And I'm gonna say this. It don't even gotta be those promises.
Yeah.
Right. Those are real deep ones. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna hit you no more. I'm going this, I'm going that. Right.
Future.
Let's go even shorter. Let's go even more practical. When you say, I'm gonna take the trash out,
Yep.
when you say you're gonna clean up, when you say you're gonna go to the job interview or redo your resume, when you say that you're gonna, get better on your appearance, go to the gym and fix your health, the small things. When you say you're gonna take her out on a date and you cancel week after week, when you say that you're gonna spend more time with her, but you spend more time with your boys, when you say that you actually care about quality time, but you spend more time on the game than you do with your own partner, those are the things that start the breaking long
That's
before the
good.
big ones start.
That's good.
Because it's a lot of women, they not getting beaten in relationships. They not getting cheated on in relationships. They not dealing with a man that don't got no money, but they are dealing with a man that make a lot of empty promises about how he is going to love and treat her, and he just don't show up.
Yeah. And to add to that, right? Empty promises. He go buy that promise ring with no intention on trying to marry her for real.
Hey,
Right. Hey, I promise you, I just need a few more months to kind of figure out where we are before I can take it to next level.
you had that promise ring for 8 years.
Come on now. I promise you, I'm gonna introduce you to my family and to my guys, but it just when the time is right. But nothing is happening.
Mm,
I promise you, you told me to sign up for therapy, but because of my actions and my behaviors, I promise you, I'm looking for a therapist. I just ain't found the right one.
what?
Come on now. These are the things that make a woman lose hope,
Yep.
lose faith, lose confidence, lose belief, and ultimately check out that relationship.
Mhm.
And this is wasting her time, because if the next man says the same thing, but he actually means it, it's going to be hard for her to believe him
Yeah.
because of all the lies that she had to deal with
Yep.
from you.
She can't even trust the future no more.
Yep.
She can't. She can't trust that there's going to be a brighter day
Yep.
because she waited for a brighter day to come so many times with you.
Yep.
And you never did it. That therapy one hit me because when I had my last time of cheating and being in my flesh, and I got caught up, man. Fiance said, "Give me one reason why I should stay." Because I knew. I said, "Boy, she out the door, bro. She out the door. It's over with, man." Um, and I told her, I said, "I'm gonna be real with you. The first time that this happened, I had all these practical answers. It's the masturbation. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna stop doing this, and I'm gonna be all right." But when it happened the second time, I realized, like, bro, you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
And I had to be honest with her and say, I don't have an answer. But what I can tell you is this: I'm gonna go find one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get help. Like, I'll sign up for therapy, and do what I need to do on that end, right? She held me to that, right? Because she needed something to hold on to, because
Yeah.
she ain't have no reason to stay.
Yeah.
But she believed that something better can come out of this, that the way he's behaving, he can be a better man than this, because I know he's a better man than this, but I don't know what's going on. So I remember I told her, I was like, I'm moving back to Houston anyway. Like, when I get back in Houston and get settled, I'll go look for a therapist. Moved back to Houston in January. January came along. Hey, you made any progress on finding a therapist? I've been looking. I just ain't had no time yet.
Yep.
February came along. You made any progress on therapy? What's up with therapy? Still ain't made no progress. March come along. It's like, Miles, what's up?
Talk to me.
What's up? You told me this, and I realized very deeply what she was really saying. What she was really saying is, I held out hope.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be out the door, and I'm really hoping that you don't make me look like a fool for believing in your promise.
Yep.
Are you gonna keep your word or are you not? Because depending on what you're gonna do, they're gonna determine what's gonna happen next.
Yep.
I went in March and I found me a therapist.
Yeah.
My life changed from that day forward.
Yeah.
Everything changed from that day forward. I became a better man from that day forward. I got the help I needed from that day forward. I became a man of God that day forward. I've been baptized. Been baptized since I was 8 years old. Been going to church every single day, every single church, every single Sunday for the last, 16 years. But I wasn't living for God. Everything changed when I kept my word and when I kept my promise.
Yeah. Man. And one thing, fellas, one thing you realize is this. You find that your woman wants you to go for whatever reason. She wants you to go to therapy, wants you to seek help, right? If you have a good therapist, you'll realize that you go for your partner, but you stay for you, right? It was the partner's push that got you in the door. And you sit there and you say, I got caught doing this, right? My lady said if I don't fix or get my mind right, then she gone. And as we start to unravel your story and get to the bottom and get to the root cause, you realize there's actually connections to your childhood and as your grown self.
Yeah.
You actually realize there's connections with the trauma that you experienced to the behaviors that you currently have. And you end up saying to yourself, hey, if I can learn this much about myself in this short period of time, what happens if I commit a little bit longer? What happens if I stay for a while? So you end up going for your partner, but you end up staying for you. And it's a beautiful thing when you stay for you and you can do it for you, because regardless, you need to be a healthy man with or without your partner. You need to be a man that's able to communicate with or without your partner. You need to be a man that's able to regulate your nervous system and make rational decisions in irrational moments with or without your partner. So yes, your partner may be the one that pushes you there, but you need to be the one that stays and remains there for you.
That's so good, bro. And that is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
We think we come for one thing, but then it don't take long. Them first few sessions, I say by that fourth session, you're like, oh, you have the aha moment.
Yeah.
When that aha moment happens, you're like, yeah, I've been wasting time.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I should have been here.
100%.
It changes everything.
So that's good, man. What you got?
All right. So my next one, you're wasting her time and you need to stop wasting her time if you know you are irresponsible and you have no ability to say no.
Talk about it.
And what I mean by that is this: an irresponsible man, right, is somebody who cannot be trusted, cannot be depended on. How can somebody trust you? How can somebody depend on you if you have no ability to say no to yourself, to say no to them, to say no to the world, right? If I'm a man and I don't know how to say no and I'm a yes man, what ends up happening is I become a man that in every single circumstance I can be swayed.
Yeah.
I will sit there and say, hey, we need to lock in as a partnership, as a couple, as a husband, as a wife. This is our goal. This is where we're going as a family.
Yeah.
And the family will be locked in doing what they're supposed to be doing. And me as the husband, as dad, as the boyfriend, whatever it is, I'll be the one that's continuously being swayed. Every single time somebody comes around and says, hey, man, I know we're supposed to be saving money. Hey, man, you trying to come out with us? We going to the club tonight. You trying to come with us to the game? You trying to come with us to this experience? Nah, bro, I'm supposed to be locked in. But if I have irresponsibility, I will make choices that do not serve the purpose that I'm supposed to be fulfilling, bro. So I'm irresponsible. So when they come and they tempt me with something, I'm going to easily be swayed to go with what they say. And we'll never make progress continuously. Here's another example of it. You can't say no. What happens when she tempts you? What happens when you say, like me and Rex had to say, we need to abstain. We need to take sex off the table. We need to do this right before we go before God and take this oath, right? What happens when she wants it? What happens when she cuddling up on you a little bit too long and the kisses are a little bit too intense? Can you say no? An irresponsible man cannot stop himself. He's going to give in to way of his passions. If his passions are sexual, he will give into the way of his sexual passions. If his passions are emotional, he will give way to his emotions. That also causes problems. If you are emotionally irresponsible, you will damage people. You will waste so much time because you a wrecking ball. Anytime something don't go your way, you throw a fit. You get petty. You turn situations into an emotional battlefield rather than being able to be responsible with your emotions and say, though I feel this way, I do not have to act this way. When you are irresponsible, you are wasting that woman's time because you're not going to make progress. You're going to hold her back from making progress. And as a unit, you would never go further.
Man, that's so good. And another thing to add to that, when you're irresponsible, you can't tell yourself no, right? One thing I've learned in my own personal experiences, plus just being in office, when a man can't tell himself no, it's hard to, once again, to abstain.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to um, let's scratch that and break it down even further. I remember when it was time for my lady and I to abstain, and we was like, you know what, let's do things the right way.
Yeah.
Let's take this off the table. And I realized that once I commit to something, I'm committed.
Mm-hmm.
It may take me a while to get there, but
Mm-hmm.
once I'm committed to something, I'm committed.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one night, me and my lady went out, and we realized that, all right, if we had moments where we would go out drinking and then we'll come back in, it was harder to stay committed to that very thing.
Yeah.
And then we broke it,
Mm-hmm.
broke our commitment, and I felt upset.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel shame, but I felt upset and I felt disappointed at the fact that we broke it. And one thing I realized is this: my woman is very strong and she has a lot of self-control. But if I influence it, right, she'll give in.
Yeah.
If I influence it, she'll give in. So although, yes, I know this is something we need to commit to, although I know we shouldn't be drinking, because that's one thing that can lead to temptation and all these different spirits are going to be out there. But if I'm willing to say, babe, you know what? We good. We still can't do this. We still have to be committed. She's going to say, you know what? You're right.
Yep.
But if I say, you know what? It's just one time.
Yep.
She's like, okay, babe, let's run it.
Yep.
So if you don't have it in you to say no, if you don't have it in you to stay committed to the process, if you don't have it in you to abstain and deny your flesh, then that irresponsibility in you is also going to make her irresponsible as well. And then you guys become an irresponsible couple.
That's so good, bro. And you know what that means? We always say it come down to the man, but I'm gonna put it like this. Your woman's discipline gonna only go as far as your discipline goes. Your woman's responsibility gonna only go as far as your responsibility goes. Your woman's conviction is only gonna go as far as your conviction goes. Your woman's submission is only gonna go as far as your submission goes. As the man goes, so goes the wife, so goes the family, so goes the community, so goes the country, so goes the world. That's why we're in the place that we're at right now as a world, as a country, as a society, as a community, as a family, as a relationship. Is because the man ain't going the way he's supposed to be going. The man ain't disciplined. The man ain't convicted. The man ain't submitted. The man is not spiritual. The man is completely irresponsible.
Yep.
If you set the tone, she will follow. But what tone are you setting? You sit there and you look at your woman and you can pick out all these things you don't like about your woman. Go look at yourself. So you sit there and you say, well, I don't like the way her body been looking. She's become so undisciplined with her body. I bet you ain't submitted. Go look at your discipline.
Yep.
Yeah, you think that because your body looks good that you're disciplined, but what do you eat? You may just be getting away with it because you got a high metabolism. You got a small frame. Your body benefits, so people don't see that. But she sees that you eat McDonald's every single day.
Yep.
She sees the compromises that you've made with your health. She know your blood pressure is too high.
Yep.
Right? She knows these things. As the man goes, so goes the woman. I'm telling you, when I would get convicted of things, it would be so interesting how when I would get convicted of things and I would come up out of some stuff, it wouldn't be long. It would not be long before Diamond was coming out of some stuff in a similar vein. It would not be long. As the man goes, so goes the woman. So you need to look at yourself. You are wasting her time if you are irresponsible. You're wasting it.
That's good, dog. That's good.
I'm telling you, bro.
All
Okay,
right.
I think the next one on me.
Yeah.
Man, so you're wasting her time if you have no faith or no relationship with God. And I mean a real one. I mean a submitted one. You know what? I'm going to rewrite that. You're wasting her time if you lukewarm with your relationship with God. Yeah. You're not doing nothing for her if you just go to church on Sunday, but then you live the way you want Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing for her. As a matter of fact, you're causing a problem and compromising her faith. Because let's just say you're the one that is deeper in your relationship with God than she is. And let's say this is the depth of what a relationship with God looks like. And she is right here. She's a novice. And you're right here. You see, you're going to feel like because you're above her that you're spiritually leading.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like you're doing your job because you're the one that gets y'all to church every single Sunday. But the problem is because you're only right here and you haven't submitted yourself to God, the rest of your week, it looked like down here. And so guess what that means for her? She thinks that, oh, all I got to do is come up to here and I can live like this the rest of the week. And that's a submitted walk to God. And then you wonder why your relationship has no direction, no purpose. You fight about everything. Y'all can never establish what your roles and purposes are. You can never get on one playing field. It's because you ain't submitted.
Yeah.
You're lukewarm. And because you're lukewarm, she's lukewarm. And because you have a walk that is so just compromising, she compromises. So you want to establish a standard. You want to establish rules and responsibilities and roles. But guess what? You compromise on everything else. So then why would she not compromise on everything else? You don't have a real relationship with God. You're not submitted. You don't feel conviction. You don't listen when God tells you to do something. You disobey every single time.
Yeah.
So if you have a relationship with God and it's only here, and you're not even hungry to try and get here, and you believe that you're where you need to be, your tongue's still dirty. The things you think about, you don't even try to capture them and take them captive. You go places that you know are unbecoming to you. You walk and talk in a way, your emotions move in a way that are dangerous to her and to the people around you. You don't move like a man of God should be moving. If you know those things, what's going to happen with the relationship? You wasting time and you wasting her walk. I'll tell y'all another story. And I've told this one before, but for years, and I told y'all I would go to church on Sundays. I'd be out Friday and Saturday to the wee hours in the morning. Probably was sleeping around doing God knows what. And I probably was going to do some more Sunday after church. I was so lukewarm, but I was in that church and I looked like a man of God. So, two, my woman, when she's dating me, that's the standard. And I would argue with her over and over and over again. You need to get baptized. You need to get baptized. You need to get baptized. And we would have some of the most heated arguments every first Sunday when communion would come around. And I remember for years we would go back and forth about this. Fast forward 2024, when I really get serious about my walk with God and I start cutting things out. We end up finding a church home. We end up moving, in a space of submission towards God. My hunger inspired her. And because she saw how serious I got with my walk with God, and I'm not saying that's the only reason, but one of the big reasons was her seeing firsthand how God transformed me when I got serious. And it led to her saying, I want to give my life to Christ. I want to take the leap. And one of her biggest things, the reasons why she didn't, she told me this down the line. Well, one of my biggest concerns was getting baptized was because everybody I ever seen that got baptized, they just lived the same right afterwards. What was the point? I didn't understand the point of going and getting baptized, but then you still saying, talking, doing all the same things that you were doing before, but yet you're supposed to be born again. I didn't see the purpose. I feel like I could go to church and all that and say I love God and believe in God and I'd be good because that's what everybody else doing. What's the difference between the way I'm walking and the way they're walking? And there wasn't. She not lying. There was not a difference between the way I was walking, the way she was walking. But I'm supposed to be sanctified. I'm supposed to be set apart. But I'm not moving that way.
Yeah.
When you have no real relationship with God, when you have a lukewarm relationship with God, you compromise her faith. You're wasting her time and you're wasting her walk with God. How are you going to lead a family? How are you going to lead her in a relationship? How are you supposed to be the head? If the head only go this far, then the tail ain't going to be much further behind. But if the head is here, it's going to be pulling that tail up.
Yeah.
You're going to be covering her and she's going to be high with you. Y'all going to be submitted to God together. You waste time when you don't have no relationship with God.
Man, not only do you waste time, but your fruit is limited.
My God.
Not only is your fruit limited, but the standard that you set is mediocre.
Yes.
Like you said, it's not best to tell her what to do. It's best to do the things that creates the standard for y'all's relationship.
Yes.
We're going to pray before we go to bed every day. I'm going to pray for you before you go to work. We're going to go to church. We're going to tithe. Right? We're going to be givers. We're going to be generous. Right? We're going to look for different ways to serve each other. We're going to look for ways to become the best versions of ourselves. But before I can make you do anything, I must be able to do the same thing. And on the small scale, I was riding in the car with my lady, and she was scrolling on social media for, we was talking, and her attention was kind of not all the way there. And I almost got upset with her. And then I realized, but Rex, you also struggle with doom scrolling. Right? So before you can even say, "Hey, how about we just do a social media fast as a couple?" Rex, how about you do it? How about you allow for her to see you put your phone down, set on the charger on the table, and then y'all can connect in the living room, or you pick up a book, or she see you not on social media because she's your partner always wants to send you DMs of funny
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and she's like, "Man, why don't you have been responding?" Oh, because I kind of been off it all week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That is motivation for her to do something different. But when I found myself getting upset with her because she was strolling, I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes what we get mad about is about our partners is something we're frustrated about ourselves.
Yes.
So when you lead by example, there's a lot more fruit. And that's the same way when it comes to spiritual life as well. If
Mm-hmm.
you become a man that is not lukewarm, that's in your word, that spend times with God, that has an intimacy, that has your blueprint from God and not from the world, then your actions set the standard. Your
Yes.
actions set the tone, and she wants to become more. And she realizes that she has to close the gap. The only way she does that is by stepping it up a notch.
That's so good because you're planting a seed.
Yep.
You're planting a seed without having to say anything.
Yep.
And that is so good, man. I remember we were at church this last week. They say this often, but it was really well put how they said it last week. They're saying, a lot of times we be in church and they always talk about turn to your neighbor, turn to your neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
turn your neighbor this, turn your neighbor that. We spend so much time telling other people stuff. We need to turn to ourselves,
100%.
right? And somebody said, if you go to church and when you hear a sermon or you hear a word, you get to thinking about other people and who that word applies for,
Yep.
you're the one that needs that word.
Yep.
And the reason why they said because God will never talk to you more about other people than he will about yourself.
That's good.
And I said, man, that's so true. And we all find ourselves in situations where something will be said, heard, or we'll see something and we ready to say, "Uh, that's exactly what I be trying to tell my woman. That's exactly what I be trying to tell my homeboy." Ask yourself, what fruit are you displaying?
Mm.
Because oftentimes what you looking at in them is reflected in you. It is reflected in you. That is so good, bro.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. Another thing I wanted to mention, that's another one that we don't even have on our list, is fellas, you waste your woman's time or that woman's time with your money,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Because, one love language that a lot of women have that's unspoken is financial stability,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So she sees you in the new whip. She sees you post videos of the new crib and the condo, of your lavish lifestyle, and she feels as if, you know what, if only I can get with him,
Yeah.
then everything will be taken care of. My bills will be paid. But the interesting part about all of that is what happens when you're a man with bread but with no substance?
Mm,
What happens when you're a man with bread with no faith? What happens when you're a man with bread but no self control? What happens when you're a man with bread but with no discipline? What happens when you're a man with bread with no character? A man with bread but you have no ability to regulate yourself. You become a you become a financial toddler.
literally.
Right. So and I see that way too often. And I'll never forget, I work in the woodlands. So there's a lot of millionaires that I work
Mhm.
with and just work around. And one lady said, Rex, me and my family, we own multiple things because of our husband's success. And our summers we spend time touring different countries on our boat.
Mm.
Right. And we have a community of other owners that have boats and things of that nature. And she was like, but because of who my husband is as a person, his personality, his character, and things of that nature, I would much rather go live in a trailer
Wow.
than to remain in this household with him because of who he is. But the reason I won't leave is because of the money
Wow.
and because of the stability that I have. So that's another way we waste a woman's time when either you're a scammer, whether you got a good job, whether you're good at saving, whether you're good at investing, or you just borrow money just to make it seem like you got a lot. You throw it out there because that the thought of stability for them grabs their attention.
Mhm.
But once they actually become your partner and get in close proximity with you, they realize you can't even hold a conversation. They realize you stutter on your words,
Yeah.
right? They realize you really ain't got nothing else.
Mhm.
But they will stay because of the stability and not because of who you are.
Wow, bro. That is so good. That is so good. And in the world that we live in today, where flashing and flossing is everything, where people literally get depressed because of what they see other people doing on a screen
Yep.
and how they think their life is looking better.
Yep.
Women are becoming more susceptible to the financial toddler.
Yep.
more and more susceptible to the financial toddler every single day.
Yep.
It looked good, but he don't have no substance. And they will go in and they will try and change that man. They will go in and they'll try and submit to that man. They will go in and think that life is going to be better, especially if they're living in a situation of scarcity or they grew up in a situation of scarcity.
Yep.
They literally will allow their fears to walk them into somebody that's more dangerous for them than a person that may not have no money, but actually knows how to treat them right.
Yep. 100%.
Man.
And they'll settle for it.
Yep.
And they'll justify it and they'll make excuses for this man.
Yep.
Well, he a good man. He trying. No, he's not.
No.
Because he got all the resources to become whoever he needs to be, but there's nothing there. Yeah.
That's good, bro.
Man, is that me or you?
Your turn.
Okay, bet. Double back. All right. You waste your woman's time when you lack purpose and direction. Right? And you become a man that says, I'm just going with the flow. Right? And one thing I always like to say, the only thing that goes with the flow is dead fish. Right? And I think about it like this. And, I'm 30 years old. I've experienced a lot. I've seen a lot, but I've actually had a lot of conversation. I've asked a lot of questions. Something that's common that I've noticed. When a man doesn't know who he is, what he's doing, or where he's going, he doesn't know who to date or how to date. Right? Who to date. He doesn't know the type of woman that he needs to help him expand his business. He doesn't know the type of woman he needs to help him build a family that's going to have high success chances for achievement in the academia world when it comes to sports. And when it comes to how to date, he doesn't know how to date because he doesn't know where he needs to go. He doesn't need to know how he needs to go about courting these women. He doesn't realize how to communicate with these type of women because he doesn't yet know who he is.
Yeah.
Right. So if I know my purpose and my calling is to be the number one motivational speaker in the world, I'm going to need a woman that has grace. I'm going to need a woman that has patience. I'm going to need a woman that has confidence. I need a woman that knows who she is. I need a woman that knows how to not necessarily be strong, but knows how to handle and manage a household without me being there, because there's going to be times I'm going to be on the road. There's going to be times she's going to be with me. But if I'm trying to be the number one motivational speaker in the world and I find a woman that's beautiful, that makes me feel good, but she has this anxious attachment and she gets separation anxiety every time you leave. So every time you get on the road, she has to be on your side. Every time you have to be in the meeting, she has to be there and she's getting in the way. Right. So if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have any direction for where you guys are going, you can't even answer the question, what do you see for us?
Wow.
You can't answer the question, what's your 2 to 3 year goal when it comes to a relationship? I remember my wife saying to me, Rex, I'm going to be honest, I'm looking for my husband. And if you don't plan on being a husband, then this ain't what you want. And then the second thing that always stood out, she said, I don't plan on being a girlfriend for more than 2 years. If I did not have direction or purpose or any sense of who I was, that answer would have pissed me off. That answer would have made me say deuces.
Yep.
Right. But because I knew I actually want to be a husband, because I knew I need to be in a committed relationship, because I knew I was ready for that, that answer didn't scare me at all.
Yeah.
So that's another way a man can waste a woman's time, by not knowing who he is, not knowing what his purpose is or where he's even going.
That's so good, man. It's like this analogy that I like to use where it's like, okay, cool. She's supposed to be your ride or die, right? But if you are driving her straight to hell, she needs to jump out.
Yeah.
You're wasting her time. You're wasting her life, right? A woman is not supposed to just blindly follow you.
Nope.
Right? She's supposed to be submitted to a mission. If you can't establish a mission for her to get up under, a purpose for her to get behind, a vision for her to see, if you can't get that, you can't paint the picture, then what reason is there for her to follow you? What, because you a man? No. Being a man don't give you that right.
Yeah.
Being a man that got purpose and vision and substance and value gives you that right.
Yeah.
You got to earn that. You have to develop that. And the thing is, it starts, like you said, with identity.
Yeah.
You must know who you are and for what reason you were put on this earth. And I think about this all the time. Purpose will reveal to you whether she's your wife or not. It will literally do the weeding out. If nothing else does, I promise you purpose will do it. I knew Diamond was going to be my wife when every single time I was working on things for my purpose, everything I brought to her got better.
Yeah.
Everything I included her in became more beautiful than the way it was without it. When I would be so upset because I would paint a picture and she would be like, I ain't gonna lie, babe, I don't think that's the one. I
Yep.
would be upset with myself. I'd be upset with myself. I'd be upset with her. I felt insecure. And when I would do it on my own, it never turned out the way it was supposed to. And she would be spot on right.
100%.
And when I started listening to her, everything changed.
Yep.
There's a lot of things I don't make decisions on a daily basis.
Yep.
I let her make the decisions on a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, I set the vision, I set the purpose, I set the mission. She knows what I'm focused on.
Yep.
I'm focused on the things that are down the road. I'm focused on the things that we got to do to make sure that we're prepared to get there, right? But when it comes to other decisions on the day-to-day that needs, what you want, babe?
Yep.
All right, cool. We rocking with that because I gave her the vision. She gonna propel that forward. I'm gonna walk this thing, but she's the energy behind this thing. She's the love that moves this thing. And that is how you know. But if you have no purpose, you'll never be able to tell if she's a drainer or not.
Yep.
You don't have nothing for her to drain.
Yep.
Y'all just coexisting.
Yep.
Saying that you love each other, laying up with one another, making babies, kissing, whatever, doing all them things. But you're not going nowhere. You ask Lloyd right now, he know who his wife is.
Yep.
Because she's part of the purpose.
Yep.
You know Gloria is your wife. Why? Because she's a part of the purpose.
Yep.
When you bring a purpose and she can't fulfill it, when you bring a purpose and she can't build on it, when you bring a purpose and she runs from it, when you bring a purpose and she gets in the way of it, she ain't your wife.
Come on now.
Find your purpose, you'll find your wife.
Yeah.
He who finds a wife find a good thing. Go find your purpose first.
Yeah, 100%. Because she's either going to be a purpose pusher or a purpose killer.
Come on.
But you don't know if you know who you are.
You don't know.
So I got one more. And this is going to be the one to even the score. Fellas, I want y'all to feel me when I say this. Look me in my eye when I say this. One of the main ways that you can waste woman's time is with your brokenness, right? Let me tell you what she's not. She's not your mother. She's not your therapist, right? She's not the person who hurt you, right? She's not your punching bag, right? She's not your financial advisor, right? She is called to be your partner, to be your helpmate. So when you are a man that has experienced trauma, when you're a man that experienced trust issues, when you're a man that experienced a woman taking advantage of you because you're bred, when you're a man that experienced a woman taking advantage of you sexually, whatever it is, and you don't deal with that, but you jump into this next relationship, she's going to have to pay for what everybody else did to you. When you find yourself becoming dysregulated and feel like you're being tried, you're not yelling at her, you're yelling at the people that tried you before. When you feel like you got to defend yourself because you're so used to being bullied, and she's saying something to you that's trying to give you constructive criticism, but you don't see her as a person that's giving you constructive criticism. You see her as the same person that bullied you, right? When you got mommy issues that you ain't really dealt with, and you feel like she's trying to control you or act like your mom, that's not what she's doing, dog. She's trying to give you a sense of direction. She's trying to influence your life in a way that's going to make you better. But it's hard for you to see that when you're stuck in your brokenness. So what I need you to do, dog, is go get the help that you need. I need you to, if you're in Houston, you can give me a call. You can go to resolvecc.com and book a session. We'll sit down. We'll talk about your trauma. We'll talk about your pain. We'll talk about your core beliefs about yourself. We'll talk about the areas where you needed things that you didn't get. Because that's not her responsibility. Her responsibility is to help you become better, and you help her become better, and y'all grow closer to Christ. But if you're broken and you're keeping things a secret and you don't want to share certain things with her because you don't feel like she's ready for it, then there's no way that you guys can become better, because you don't even know how to give her you, because you don't even know how to sit with yourself. Last thing I'm gonna say.
Man, that's so good, bro. That's so good. I mean, I don't have much to add to that other than the fact that when you are broken and you expect somebody to come in and do the job that only God can do,
Yep.
you are dooming yourself and that person for failure. That's too much weight to put on any one person.
Yep.
It's not fair to her.
Yep.
And you're going to waste her time, and what's going to happen is she going to gray well before her years.
Yep.
Her skin going to wrinkle well before her years. Her vision's going to die well before her years.
Yep.
Her birthing years are going to die well before you. Things are going to change. Her own physical health will be deteriorated because she's with a broken man who is looking at her to be every single thing. He got to be the healer. I mean, she got to be the healer for you, and she got to be the one that you hurt. That's not fair. It's not right. And you can't place that on somebody. You wouldn't want nobody placing that on you. You wouldn't want nobody placing every single aspect of them that is wrong on you. That's not your responsibility. Like Rex said, the responsibility of a relationship is to reflect you so that you can grow, so that people can sacrifice and learn things about one another. That's why God uses marriage as the greatest testament of his love.
Yep.
To show the walk. Because as your marriage transforms and becomes more submitted, and you see yourself in your wife or in your husband, you become better. You become more Christ-like, right? That is what happens in relationships. But if you coming into it broken and you're expecting somebody to be Jesus for you, I got a news flash for you. It's not going to happen
At all.
It's not going to play out. So, man, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
This was such a powerful episode.
This one of them ones, dog.
Yeah, man. And so, fellas, we just want y'all to understand, like we said before, you got to stop wasting her time. If you know you got these things going on, that you're dealing with these things, it's time for you to go get some help. So, like Rex said, you need to reach out to him so you can get help. If you're in Houston, you can sign up for therapy. If you're outside of Houston, you can sign up for, or it's Texas, you can sign up for coaching.
Yep.
If you know that you need this type of identity shift so that you're not walking in brokenness, you're not walking in a lack of identity, you're not walking in a lack of purpose, you're not walking in a lack of love. If you know that you need something more in your life to transform you, I want you to go to www.milesthemillennial.com, because you know that you, your organization, your school, your team, they need a shift, a cultural shift, an identity shift. I want you to sit down with me and us be able to walk through what you need so that we can provide a solution that changes your mind so that it changes your life.
Absolutely. And once again, it's your boy Rex Howard Jr. And one thing I want to say to all the viewers and the listeners and all the supporters, once again, we want to say I appreciate you guys for all the likes, the shares, the subscribes. Our YouTube page is growing finally, which is a beautiful thing. Our Instagram and our TikToks and our other accounts are growing as well. But we are in a position where we are ready to expand, right? We want to partner with you, right? Whether you have a run club, a men's group, a women's group, and you need help with topics of dealing with the flesh, right? Becoming deeper in your faith, becoming more as a man, getting past identity issues, growing in your relationships, all right, growing in your personal development. We want to partner with you. We can come to the school. We can come to the boys club. We can come wherever you need us to be, whether you want us to visit your podcast. We are ready and we're willing to be a part to help you grow, and we also want to grow as well. So, and if you are looking for counseling or coaching by any way, form, or fashion, you can go to resolvecc.com. You can book a session with me, and then you can follow us on all platforms at Let's Talk Like Men Podcast.
Amen. Guys, click that share, subscribe, and like button. Make sure y'all press that hype button so this video gets pushed out on the YouTube algorithm. And we will catch y'all next time, man.
See y'all
Peace.
next week.